Hey, so my name is Benjamin Miller. I'm a first year medical student, and it's going to be a weekly diary, almost video diary. More or less, it's going to be a vlog uh, covering my journey through medical school. This is more so for me than it is for entertainment purposes. I am going to be uploading it to YouTube, obviously, but if you like these kind of things, if you're interested in it, then I greatly appreciate your support, your interest, your feedback, anything of the sort. But as I said before, this initially, as of right now, is going to be mainly just for me to see where I'm at, where I'm going, and kind of to monitor where I'm at both mentally and just to kind of follow along to see if I think I'm progressing well or if I'm showing significant change week to week or something of the sort. So to start off, I guess the first thing to note is I'm going to a Caribbean medical school, um, and due to COVID-19, we're doing an online term. So with that being said, I'm currently at St. Vincent in the Grenadines Trinity School of Medicine. Uh, I have no complaints of it as of right now. This is subject to change, of course, as I learn more, see more things. So as of right now, this video is a little late to record and publish. This is Tuesday of the week of 9/15/2020. So I'm a little late in regards to covering last week, but I just recently decided to do this a few days ago, so it's about time I got everything up and running, more or less. So with that being said, just to go ahead and start covering last week. So last week we started off with orientation. Obviously, you never go to any school without some form of orientation. And pretty much more or less what we covered was, hey, this is what our school does. Welcome to our school. Here's what to expect. Here's your handbook. Here's things not to do. Here's things you should do. Oh, yes, we got all these clubs and organizations. You know, your typical run of the mill. Hey, welcome. These are things that you might be interested in. Check them out, make friends, do things. So, I mean, nothing too special in the sense of an orientation. One of the things we didn't get to do from orientation, which I'm a little upset about, but again, there's not much I can do about it. White coat ceremony, and that got postponed till the next term, to the spring term. We actually get down to the actual campus. Obviously, with everything that's going on, certain things you just can't do. With that being said, after orientation, it was, hey, here's a list of your classes, and as of tomorrow, you start your journey. So that was a little interesting, but nothing unexpected. Uh, as of Tuesday of last week, we hit the ground running. Started off strong, more or strong in the sense of classes starting off strong with biochemistry, anatomy, histology, early human development, ICCM. Now, ICCM is Introduction to Community and Clinical Medicine, or something along with that. Pretty much is a class on how to be a doctor. This particular term, I think we're going over patient histories and how to interact with patients in a professional manner, that sort of biochemistry. That one I felt at that point in time, and I still feel this way now. It's going to be one of my tougher classes, if not my toughest classes. It's easily tough or second tough. But to be fair, all classes in medical school are tough, so it's not like it's anything. Coming from a chemistry background, I have a little bit of knowledge in certain areas where other people don't. With that being said, there's a lot that I don't know still, right? In terms of the biology aspects of it. So that'll be interesting to kind of see where I fall in that. Anatomy, I feel, is probably going to be my second hardest class just because the amount of information there is. I think it'll progressively get more difficult. If not, there's going to be a huge jump in difficulty at some point. Um, just the amount of things we have to know and the way we're splitting up the human body over two terms is going to be quite interesting. Term one, we're covering the upper abdomen or the upper body, and the term two, we're covering the lower body. So that means we're covering musculoskeletal, segment, the all that stuff initially, and then we're cover the rest of it that pertains to those systems after the fact next term. So I think that's a little weird, but there's not much I can really do about that other than say, hey, let's go with this with our best foot forward. Other class I have is histology. I think this class will probably be one of my easier classes. Just the cell aspect and tissue aspect of studying it through slides, microscopy, things of that nature. We did a lot of that kind of stuff in chemistry, not necessarily the biological slides, obviously, but we covered a lot of microscope technique, a lot of the more advanced things, trying to look at micro and macro molecules. So again, one of those few things where I have a slight edge in some degrees, but in some cases I don't. Histology, I think I'll do fine in. As long as, again, I think all my classes I'll do okay in, as long as I maintain good work ethic and I'm able to stay ahead of the game and I don't fall behind. One of the big things. Fall behind, it's so hard to catch back up, and I'm just terrified of that happening. Other class, early human development. That one, as of right now, is starting off a little easy, but I feel like that class will progressively get more difficult. The reason why I believe this is the class is set up into a three subjects almost, where we're covering embryology, teratology, uh, basically the study of birth defects and things of that nature, and we're also studying genetics in class. So it's a triple whammy, and I think that as the course goes on, the material will progressively just get more and more in regards to this particular class, just because of how many things we're trying to cover at once. Other than that, we have ICCM, which I briefly mentioned before. ICCM, the professor even told us this is going to be an easy class, easy A, as long as you do your work and you maintain some form of integrity in regards to showing up to class, being attentive, being respectful, being responsive, so on and so forth. So, not too worried about that class. Excuse me. It'll just be interesting. The class itself is a multi-term class. Several of the classes are multi-term, but this one in particular goes over 5 terms, I believe. And it continues even beyond that. Because realistically, the skills it takes to be a doctor, interpersonalization skills, communications, punctuality, altruism, the necessary skills to be a doctor, you don't just learn. That's something you learn over the course of not only medical school, but residency, and then even throughout your career. There's always something you can learn, and that's really something to think about. Is just, there's always something you can learn and improve on. There's always something you don't know. Come into it with an open. And even this term, where we're just learning something simple like taking a patient history, that can be quite challenging if you don't know what to ask and you start overlooking because you're being complacent, or you're thinking, oh, well, I don't need to ask this, or oh, this person looks fine, or this person looks. You don't want to be assuming anything or being complacent, as I said. That's kind of a weekly sum up of everything that's going on. To sum up the whole weekend itself, first week of medical school, I feel slightly overwhelmed. I think that's going to be true regardless of online school or not. I don't like online school, let alone online medical school, but it's something, again, you just have to deal with. Feeling slightly overwhelmed just mainly because of the amount of material. I don't think anyone's really ready for medical school. When they walk in the first week, all my classmates and peers seem to be in the same boat as I, where we feel overwhelmed, we feel like we don't know anything, and we feel as if we're not prepared, even if we are putting forth the effort to study and the things. So there's that. Hopefully next week will be a better week. Not so far. But with that being said, I'm still optimistic. I still have my head held high. I'm confident in my ability to be able to do these things. I just got to make sure I stay on top. So with that being said, just to kind of sum up this video, as I said at the beginning, if you're watching this, thank you for your interest. Thank you for supporting me, supporting the channel more or less. It's not something I plan on trying to go big with or trying to make social media stardom with or anything of that sort. This is more so, again, this particular series is just for me to be able to see where I'm starting and where I'm heading, and kind of gauge how I'm doing over each term, and just to kind of see, where did, ultimately in the end, this is where I started from, and hopefully where I end is somewhere better. Now, with that being said, I do plan on uploading some other stuff to this channel just to kind of more or less video diaries at that point, just kind of showing my adventures, things I've seen, things I get to do, showing off the places I'm going and uh, practicing at. So I think it'll be interesting. But again, I'm not trying to do this for clout or anything of the sort. It's more so just at this point. Now, with that being said, if people like this sort of stuff and people want to see more of it, then yeah, I'll be more than happy to continue to do it. But again, as of right now, it's just going to be something for me to kind of look back on. So once again, thank you for supporting the video. Thank you for supporting me through this time, and see you next week. Bye.